Welcome to another informative episode of Housing Development. As always, I am your housing diva, Fleur Annie. Coming up today on the program, Nasarawa State is set to build an all-inclusive technological village. Plus, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners President asks all to embrace effective town planning professionals to cope incessant building collapse. Also coming up, Nigerians calls on government to provide alternative shelter before pulling down illegal structures. This and more will be our area of focus on the program today. Let's get to the news desk. I'll be back.
Mr. Timothy Gbadeyan, a leading real estate expert, has said high interest rates and low wages are among the major factors making it difficult for most Nigerians to access a mortgage to own a house. Gbadeyan, who is also the company's secretary and head of legal services at Living Trust Mortgage Bank PLC, said the convoluted nature of the Nigerian mortgage industry had made it difficult for the average Nigerian to access mortgage loans. According to him, the government-controlled mortgage scheme, which is the National Housing Fund, is riddled with bottlenecks and conditions that will inevitably cause the process to stall after an extended period of time. While noting that most of the work that needed to be done to de-risk the mortgage sector lied with the government, the expert pointed out that the increasing cost of real estate development and paucity of titled properties in the country had also played a contributory role to the challenges experienced in the mortgage sector. The Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, has stated the federal government's agenda to use the 860 ongoing projects of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing as training grounds for engineers in universities. Professor Joseph Odigure, the Council's Registrar and Chief Executive Officer, disclosed this in Abuja recently while speaking on the sidelines of the current regional Train the Trainers workshop for implementation of outcome-based education in engineering programs in Nigerian universities. He noted that this partnership with the Ministry of Works, already approved by the National Council on Works, will provide enabling environments for students to serve as apprentices in all federal government projects. Housing Development Advocacy Network (HDAN) has said that the lack of adequate data on housing has been identified as the country's major obstacle to provision of housing for all, with the group noting the establishment of Housing Affordability Index. President of HDAN, Mr. Festus Adebayo, has noted that data is required to ensure affordable housing in Nigeria. According to Adebayo, social housing is a public asset owned and maintained by government, and for him, building materials, which are major inputs in the production of housing, affects the cost of housing. The group has stressed the need for government to implement effective taxation to discourage acquisition of houses by the few rich in the society.
For more housing, finance and construction news, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Demolition of structures has always been a controversial exercise in Nigeria. It has generated a variety of responses from Nigerians. Let's get to find out the reactions of some Nigerians on demolition of illegal structures in the country.
Before you could go ahead and say you're pulling down a building to build another thing, you should have provide a space for those people you're sending out to live in. Because you can't just wake up in a day and tell someone that, yeah, pack out of your house, we are pulling it down. It's not done. Or you say we give you 2 weeks or we give you 3 weeks to pack out of this house. No, it's not done. You should provide where they will be living for the meantime, for them to bounce back and have the ability to get a better place. That's why in some foreign countries, if they are going on a project like that, they provide accommodations for their people to live.
Even prior to demolition, there must be a plan whereby the citizens must not be thrown into the street without properly housed. In other words, for Nigeria or any nation to be developed, the plan must include or take care, of its citizens. Do you understand? Because the first thing that a nation state or a society must consider is the housing of its citizens, thereby mitigating nuisance and as well as controlling the miscreants that even threat their fellow human beings as a result of lack of proper housing.
In as much as people build in the places that they are not supposed to build, which they have done, what they are doing is wrong. I also want the government, in as much as government wants to correct it, government should be able to also create either enabling environment or make more housing at a rate that they can afford. And I'm sure it's because people cannot afford. That is why they go into, if they see space, they go into cheaper means. But the government can ensure that there are houses that are affordable, that people can afford. I'm sure Nigerians cannot go to do other means to ensure that they get houses.
They can't just go on demolition without providing a place for them. So we, and I think I bet somehow somewhere in Orozo Karishi, it affected most of us. They just came with notice, being December 20th, that the demolition is going to take place on 22. And the many people are saying, what are we going to do? We are thinking of what to eat, how to do about the Christmas. And here you are coming about demolition. I don't think things work that way. That where you consider the people your people first, consider the citizen first before doing anything. Provide a shelter. Even check if the price is enough for them.
The first thing they are supposed to do is to hear the options of the homeless people first before embarking on any demolition. A good government is supposed to care for the people. If a government doesn't care for the people, that means that government is not a democratically elected government.
Before any government should conduct anything demolition, there should be a plan for the people. There is what we call resettlement, where they should resettle them. You understand? There should be a plan for them, because the life after the demolition or how you have abandoned them homeless is something that, because this can result to so many things.
Housing.
Or how you have abandoned.
To me, I don't think.
Or how you have abandoned.
As Nigerians continue to endure the pains of incessant building collapse across the country, stakeholders in the planning sector have charged project developers in the country to adhere strictly to the rules and regulations governing the industry in order to avert the trend. The president of the Nigeria Institute of Town Planners, Engineer Olutoyin Ayinde, who gave the charge when he paid a courtesy call on the coordinator of Abuja Metropolitan Management Council, AMCC, Umar Shuaibu, in his office, identified planning as the bedrock for any development. Ayinde noted with dismay the misconception of industry players who often place economic planning before physical planning, noting, however, that the two cannot be separated in order to achieve desired results in development planning.
Any politician, governor or president who does not understand that physical planning comes before economic planning is a joker, which was what the Minister of Works and Housing said at the keynote address at our conference. He said he had always said it and he has always believed that for development to happen, physical planning and economic planning must agree. And he put the order as physical planning first and then economic.
The NITP president, while commending the AMCC coordinator for the feat achieved so far, called for collaboration with the agency and NITP to ensure effective and efficient execution of projects by developers so as to guard against the surging rate of building collapse in the country.
This is the opportunity to once again stamp the authority and more influence of the profession, which he has assured me he has been doing, and I believe he will continue.
Responding, the AMCC coordinator, Umar Shoaibu, expressed concern over the non-insurance coverage for project and lack of professional competence among the developers.
We thank God that you are the chairman of that tribunal in Lagos. Here, we have started, in fact, before even you come, we have been following whatever is happening in Lagos to see how we can go also address whatever happening in Lagos as far as our issues in media is concerned. Two major issues. This one is insurance. We have so many housing developers, housing projects in Abuja, commercial projects. Our developments are not insured. In a situation whereby the developers collect people's money, how do you protect the investment of other people if the development is not insured? We are taking note of that now. Secondly, professionalism. As far as what is the other issue that we have? Construction companies. Construction companies. Construction companies, if a development is of a very big magnitude, the scale of the development such that if it is more than 3 floors, sorry, up to 4 floors and above, a construction company must be, the consultant must be recognized here, so much such that if there is any problem in that project, we will monitor and make sure that yes, there is a construction firm, registered firm that we can call.
He gave the assurance that his office will continue to cooperate with relevant professionals in providing sustainable services to the residents of the Federal Capital Territory.
Hi, I'm Bob Weinsheng, CEO of iBuild Global, and keep watching the Housing Development Program.
I am Dr. Sam Ewu, Senate Committee Chairman on Housing. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
Town Planner Olutoyinka Iveve, the president of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. You're watching Housing Development. The Nasarawa state government has begun the construction of a technology village in a bid to ensure that residents of the state improve on their knowledge of information and communication technology and other technological innovations. The groundbreaking ceremony for the 1,962 housing units was held recently.
The Nasarawa state government says it is poised in using technology to gallivant the growth of the state to meet the expectations and desires of the people. The state governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, made the announcement at the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a technology village in Karu local government area of the state. Governor Sule said the project, which is likened to Silicon Valley in the United States, when completed, will not only provide employment opportunities for the teeming unemployed youths, but will provide social amenities for the people irrespective of their status in the society.
The National Economic Development Strategy
is more or less a development roadmap which we put together to see today. We are looking at technology and we are also looking at housing. We are looking at employment. We are looking at industrialization and the rest.
On financing the project, the state chief executive revealed that his administration will not expend the state resource on the construction of the village, but has already signed an MOU with private investors to fund the project, stressing that his administration has provided the enabling environment for investors in the state.
All the time the problems we have in the country is funding. Trying to see how we progress funding and get that. All we are trying to do here is to ensure that we don't take Nasarawa state money into this kind of project. Rather, we bring our own equities in various forms.
On the problem of the road traffic gridlock along Abuja-Kefi corridor, the governor said there are plans to provide alternative routes linking the technology village with the federal capital territory and the state capital to access the village easily.
One of the things we can do about this project is to actually connect a dedicated road to this site rather than coming through the direction that we all came. About 40%, of the people working in Abuja actually live in Nasarawa.
In his goodwill message at the occasion, the Minister of State, Science, Technology and Innovation, Mohammed Hassan Abdullahi, commended the governor for his foresight in keying into the technological drive of the federal government in setting up the technology village, assuring that his ministry will assist the state with the enabling environment and with necessary expertise to actualize the project completion.
As a member of the Federal Executive Council, I'm coming from the Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. This is indeed a project that we are not only keen to support, but we're willing to provide technical support if invited to. When I saw the facilities we provided in this community, there is every likelihood that technology will be the driving or the focal point of this estate.
This is a project that we have done the likes of this project in other states of the Federation successfully. So there's no doubt that with the support of the state government, the enthusiasm of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, and even the Nigeria Investment Promotion Council that was here, all our funders are very, very happy and they are ready to go. They're just waiting for us because they can see the size of the project, the impact of the project, the location, and most importantly, the commitment of the state government to realize this. Because I don't know if you recall when the governor was talking about the 40% of Abuja is living in Karu, here in this Karu corridor. So it's high time. People cannot be choking themselves in Maraba or, in all those locations like Nyanya. You need to have space. These houses are not 100 million naira. It's not for the rich. These are houses for the people, by the people. So we would like to commend the governor for taking this very, very important initiative. Affordable housing is possible and we are working to achieve it in Nigeria.
The Nasarawa State Technology Village, conceived about 22 years ago by the administration of Adamu Abdullahi, could not take off due to some legal and technical issues among some vested interests.
I'm Debbie Erb. I work for OPIC in the United States, and keep watching the Affordable Housing Development Program.
Welcome back. Up next is Brains and Hammers Bungalow City.
Bungalow City is a 8,000 affordable housing unit project developed by Brains and Hammers. It is situated along the Kubwa Expressway in the Federal Capital Territory. This project is broken into phases. The phase 1 of the project has 1,000 housing units that are completed or at different phases of completion. The second phase of the project is made up of 1,250 housing units, broken into 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. This second phase is fondly called the Mega City and is fully facilitated and supported by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. The partnership between Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria and Brains and Hammers speaks to the credibility of not just the company, but how far we've come in providing affordable houses for Nigeria. For the 1,250 units in the Mega City, our clients will have the unique opportunity of access to mortgage as well as rent-to-own opportunity, fully supported by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. This was made possible because of 1, the expertise that Brains and Hammers bring to 4, the development capability of the company, as well as the readiness of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to provide housing for civil servants and low-income earners, starting with the Federal Capital Territory.
Your Walton Housing Development. The program is housing development. The huge and rapidly expanding population has outpaced the rate at which infrastructure can be provided in most states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital City, hence the proliferation of urban slums. Slum dwellers are part of the urban populace with the same democratic rights to environmental health and basic living conditions as all residents. To fix city slums, don't just knock them down, involve residents in upgrading efforts. On that note, I wrap up today's edition of Housing Development. Thanks for watching. If you missed any part of today's edition and you wish to watch it over again, you can do so via the YouTube channel Housing TV Africa. I remain your housing diva, Flora Annie. Stay safe.